What's up, YouTube? It's me again, Metro85, Mike Carvello, whatever you want to know me as, here on Team Airfare Gaming once again. And you know what we're talking about today? My broken heart. We lost a lot of good boys on the battlefield today, and I guess it's technically maybe this was yesterday. It was yesterday. I had to work, but But a little extra bonus, I'm going to also be giving you guys an updated list for one of the biggest concerns that this ban list raises. But let's jump right in. Remember to smash that like button. Remember to click subscribe. Remember to ring the bell. It always helps us on the channel. All right. So first things first, new restricted cards announcement. We knew this was going to be happening. I assumed it was going to happen post EX3. I guess it technically is, but I'm still kind of mad about it. I expected that we would get it right before BT11, not right after BT10, but here we are. First hit, and honestly, I think this is the best hit, is Calling from the Darkness. So, Calling going to 1, I think, is one of the most important choices they're going to make in this game. Calling is and American players aren't seeing it, I guess, but it is an insanely powerful card. As someone who plays a lot of security control, I played like Beelstar and stuff. This card effectively says right now in our meta, hey, destroy a Digimon. If you control one, pick up 2 Death Xmons. That's crazy. This card is nuts. In Minerva Loop and stuff like that, it does even crazier stuff. And what this card does is it would have created a very hard to balance state. Because purple, it would have really limited what powerful things purple was able to get, because there would be constant fear of Calling being there. Calling at 4, I know it's not played as much in Beals, but I feel like there would have also been fear that a strong mill deck like Beals would have suddenly had a way to just recycle all their stuff again, which again would kind of negate the downside of playing a mill deck. But yeah, honestly, I think this card was very slept on in North America, but it's very strong. Clearly, Bandai acknowledges that. And on the bright side, if you weren't playing it in purple, now it's a staple. You just always play the 1. But other than that, I think this one was very well needed. Here's my broken heart. Sunrise Buster. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this. I feel like this really hurt Shoutmon the most. Sure, other decks are playing it, but after we already hit Jutsilf, I don't think that we needed to also nerf Hybrid even further, because this card like really helped Red-Yellow Hybrid exist, McDonald's Hybrid, if you will. Their argument for it too, like the output of this card's effect is greater than intended for some decks. Have it say non-keyword, like errata this to say Tamer, 3-cost Tamer. Have it say 3-cost Tamer. Suddenly is like fine. Like they could have just made it say a red-yellow Tamer that costs 3 or less, and this card would have been perfectly fair. It wouldn't have been playing Memory Setters. It wouldn't have been playing Taikari, but it is what it is. I'm sad about it. This was unironically one of my favorite cards. I have a playset of pre-release stamps. Yeah, I'm really sad to see this go, but it's still at 1. We still get the 1, which will only make people feel worse when they hit it in security first check. Am I right? All right. This one, this is the same reason they gave in Japan, and I can't help but laugh at it because, all right, so BT7 Doru Gray. You know it. I know it. You hate it. I hate it. The card is +1 security attack, and it is additionally invulnerability to your opponent's effects. This plus Breath of Gods means your Digimon is immune to almost every removal in the game. Yeah, Breath of God, right? Yeah. As a Digimon card with X antibody in its traits, multiple copies can easily be placed on the bottom to give additional security attack. Furthermore, when Digivolving is a powerful effect, I think this card and this errata really meant one thing. We don't want you to tap Yuji and put Dorugreymon underneath Black Wargray X. Don't do it. The deck's already really good. We don't want it also getting a million checks. That's, maybe I'm wrong, but that's how it reads to me. It really feels like they want to do powerful things with other Black Digimon in the X Antibody archetype, and the combination of Yuji Dorugray, or even Dorugray activate the effect, and give protection to an unintended boss card, I think was a bit more than they were intending to do with the deck. And I understand it, because, like, realistically in the future, we probably have Diaboromon X Antibody coming. We are probably going to have Justimon X Antibody coming. We do have, what's his name? Chaos Dramon, the evolution of Machine Dramon coming. Black Wargray X Antibody again. Like, there's so many Black Digimon that we don't have their X Antibody forms, and it's just a constant fear of Bandai of, oh god, will this card accidentally break it? And it might have. It genuinely might have. So with that in mind, I do think this ban was justified. This one was obviously justified. I don't think both should have went at the same time. I think they should have waited to see what the first 3 bans did to the meta and then decide if this one was worth it, but Shoutmon X4. Because of the effect that allows you to win the game instantly by playing more than 2 of these in a turn and draw a million cards, we have put this card to 1 in deck. Crazy. It turns out when you print a card that's 1 memory, do everything, but also Pot of Greed, it's really good. It has slaps the car roof. This baby can hold so many card texts in it. Like, this thing literally did everything. It drew cards, it reset to play the next one, you know, in case you drew it off of drawing 3 cards off of the whole interaction of playing it and swinging. It got Rush from Shoutmon, it got Pierce from Ballistamon. It was a very unlikely to die to security thanks to Taikari and Dorumon. This card was nuts. Justified. I'm sad because I really wanted to play it at Nats because I really like Megazords. But I'll probably still get to play Cross 7 at Nats, so. But let's talk about that. So, going over here. Can I change the view on this? Not export, not import. I want to see the other view. Export image? That's not what I wanted. Okay, whatever. We'll just talk about it in this view. Can I go with the other one? Okay, I don't know why that one's by itself, but that's fine. So let's talk about what I think the deck might look like post the limit. So I'm a little bit of an animal. I play 3 Death X in mine. You got my 3 Cross 5s. The 1 Cross 4, mandatory. Your 4 Darulu, 4 of all the boys. 3 King Mode. We're going to be talking about King Mode in just a second. 4 Taiki, 4 Angie. Bumping up to 4 Zenjiro. I cut Taikaris to open some slots. So the 4th Zenjiro now becomes a lot easier to play. Plus, some other things we're going to talk about make the Zenjiro a lot better than he was before. To replace our Sunrise Busters, I added some Fireballs. This card is really good at removing things like Solarmon, Psychmon, and if they don't have stuff like that, it just digs. It digs for our pieces. Crimson Blaze, because now we're suddenly going to be a little softer to certain matchups like Jessmon and stuff like that, so we're going to want to have the Sweeper. The 1 of Sunrise, and again, the 1 King Mode got kind of dropped to the bottom. So, to talk about King version. So, first off, 5 cost, evolves for 2 on a red level 3. 5 cost is important. The evolve cost isn't really as important here. He is always treated as Shoutmon. Very important. You can return 1 card with Digicross from your trash to hand as his on play. And then when you would Digicross this turn, he can replace 1 of the Digicross requirements. So, effectively, what he's going to do a lot of the time is you're going to push up your Sparrowmon or whatever. You're going to swing. It's going to die. You're going to put it under Taiki. Oh, wait, 1 sec. Is this 50? This is 50. Okay, I had another idea where I was going to play a 4th, the blue Tamer, but Kiriha, but I decided against it. Okay, sorry, my ADD. So what this basically means is that you're going to push up your guy, you're going to swing, you're going to tuck it under your Tamer if it dies. If it doesn't die, which would be the ideal world now. You're going to turn that guy into king version. He's going to pick up. So he's going to cost 3 memory, which if you have a memory setter, you're golden. There's maybe a world I would change a Zenjiro for a 3rd tie, but I'll talk about why I want more Zenjiros. So, hypothetically, again, say you go to 3, you have tie in play. So you play king version, you go to 0, right? You tab Zenjiro, you go to 1. Hey, look, you just picked up your cross 4 from Grave. Oh, what are you doing with this 1 memory? You play cross 4. And now you can use king mode to go into it, and then if you have like a Taiki in play, you can material save untapping Zenjiro, and then go into something else. Go into like a cross 5 or something, and you gain another memory. Or even attacking with the cross 4, blowing him up, tucking the materials, and then like pass your turn by going into another king version just to pick it up. But he can use any Digimon with cross hardened traits, so. And keep in mind, he's a Shoutmon, so when attacking for Starmons, he gets you an extra draw. With himself, he can get rushed to swing immediately. Reboot's not as relevant. Pierce also not as relevant without something else. Darulu also really, it's a little relevant if you're going to keep him with the cross 4, but it would be a very specific board state for that. But the biggest thing that I think is going to be crossing him on top of Shoutmon. Just double Shoutmon action, and then just swinging with Rush after. When he dies, he'll pop the Shoutmon back under, and he did his job. He was like a weird calling from darkness for us that swung. If you do use him to Digicross, again, he can replace any of your parts. So say you're missing Sparrowmon for Cross 5 or anything else, he fills in the gaps. Mind you, we only have these to cross art now, but you can also like Digicross him like with himself. Not obviously the most mana efficient play, but like you can cross him off of a Shoutmon, swing, and if he lives, cross hard him again, or tuck him under a Taiki, tap Taiki to cross hard him again, with himself to make another. What do you call it? To grab like another piece. I still think the deck's very strong. I think that your egg always drawing, Starmon's draws, Sparrowmon being a 5k rookie. A lot of these things will make the deck good. Sparrowmon is a lot of the time just a Vmon with jamming. 5k is very large, and I think it will get a lot of results. It really bugs me that the Shoutmon won't go over there, but I'm not refixing the whole list for it. Some things I would consider if Jessmon falls into the meta, I would cut probably one of these for a Kiriha, just to have a 5th card to cross art with. Is he not called Kiriha? Is he called Christopher on here? He is called Christopher. Okay. Yeah, and then I would look at cutting this one for like a Heroes to the Sky or like another Fireball. Maybe even a 3rd Tai Kamiya, but I don't think I would want 3 ties. If the meta becomes a little less swarmy, I'd cut a Death X and play a 4th Cross 4, or Cross 5, sorry. And you just play more Cross 4. I wish. I cry. I sob. But yeah, there's a lot of like flex pieces. This one Zenjiro can be flexed too. Like realistically, I would say this is what the new core looks like. And then you have like your 4 curve spots. So like you can play another Death X, you can play other stuff. I'll talk about this, but I don't think it's worth it. So Cross 4B, I think is so close to being really good. Which is basically, so he has Armor Purge, which is actually like one of the best things about him. But he's a 9 cost, or he evos for 3 on a level 4, red or purple. On play, or when digivolving, you place a Digimon with Crossheart from your hand or under a Tamer under him as a bottom card. And then if Beelzmon's in his sources, you can pick up 2 cards with Crossheart traits from trash to hand. So he can get you back your... Can I open him in a new tab? Oh, it's a Japanese art. That's fine. Oh, we're dumb. Yep, we're dumb. Oh, well, that's fine. But here, actually, I'll just do this. There we go. Yeah, so he can Digicross, Shoutmon Cross 4, and Beals to reduce his cost by 2. I I don't think that's ever going to be overly relevant. The one thing that I do think is interesting is he can evolve on top of Kingmon or King Mode, and King Mode can replace the Shoutmon to Digicross him to make him a 5 cost, but I still think that's very expensive. Taiki can find the new Beals to tuck it under. It's so close to being really good because again, if you Digivolve him for 3 on top of King Mode, you would just need to have the Beals either in hand or under a tamer to get back 2 cards. It basically turns King Mode into like another pickup effect, which I think is good, but I don't think it's good enough. And for anyone who's a Shoutmon player who's sad by these hits like I am, let's just do a quick talk about what's coming. So we got this and we got this. Cross 3 is insane. So once again, he's a Shoutmon that costs 1. He'll have Rush, he'll have reduced security attack, and he will have Pierce. So costs 1, has material save 2. Start of your turn, you can delete him to gain an extra memory, which means he'll put 2 of the materials underneath. And then on his on play, you reveal the top 3, add 2 cards with Crossheart or Blue Flare, put the rest in the bottom. So this card becomes a very good stepping stone piece. It gets you like early aggro once again, and it lets you look for your new pieces, and then helps you find your pieces to make the big man. So Cross 7 costs 14, but he Digicrosses for 2 costs lower for Omni Shoutmon, Zeke Greymon, Ballista, Darula, Starmons, and Sparrowmon. So 6 different Digimon. If you have all 6, then he is only he's a 2 cost. He has Rush naturally, which is to compensate because he no longer has the original Shoutmon underneath. He's got material save 4. And then on play, he deletes a Digimon with DP less than or equal to himself. He's 13k, pretty much everything. And then for every 2 cards in his sources, he gets plus 1,000 DP. So that's going to be, again, he's going to have Pierce, he's going to have the security attack lower, he's going to draw cards, he's going to have Reboot. And then you have Omni Shoutmon and Zeke Greymon. So Omni Shoutmon, we're going to be looking at the new one here. Digivolves for 4 on a Shoutmon, not as relevant. Digivolves off of like level 4s otherwise. And then if you would Digicross, he is also Shoutmon, which is great. Which means that he'll basically be replacing the little Shoutmon. Or like you'll be cutting numbers down to be playing Omni Shoutmons instead. His Inherited gives security attack plus, which means we can change the memory tamers around. You might not need Tai as much, you can just play more Kirihas. Or I think you'll play the new tamer. I forget exactly what it does off the top of my head, but yeah. And then he has like a when Digivolving effect that's not super relevant. And then you also have Zeke Greymon, which is he's mostly a Blue Flare support in his original deck, I believe. Virus Cyborg? That cannot be right. Is he a virus? I thought he was a... Wait. This one's Virus Cyborg. No, this one's definitely Crossheart Blue Flare. Sorry, one sec. Give me one sec, because that's definitely not correct. Cyborg Blue Flare. Okay, that makes more sense. I'm like, he's definitely Blue Flare. It is incorrect. I'll just go off this one then. So, when you Digivolve him, you unsuspend him, and then if a card with Blue Flare or Crosshearts in his traits, and your opponent is 2 or more Digimon, you gain 2 memory. Costs 3 to evolve. Nice little addition for Blue Flare. He's like, he can go off of Metal Greymon for 2, and then you get the 2 back. And he's got save. And then his Inherited is just if you have Blue Flare in traits, he gets blocker, which I believe... I can't trust this anymore, so I need to go double check. Composite Crossheart Blue Flare. Yeah, so he gets blocker, and he gets Reboot from Sparrowmon. So he's quite a tank. And then the last thing you get... Let's see if I can search... I'm just going to search White Tamer. And then get rid of that. There we go. Taiki Kiraha Nene. So, start of your main phase, by placing a Digimon with Crossheart or Blue Flare from your hand under it, you gain a memory, and you draw one. So, find your pieces, and then when you would play a Digimon with Crossheart, you can tap this Tamer, use cards under your Tamers. This card's insane. So, fear not, Crossheart gamers. Our deck's still going to be crazy. They can be, they can hit some things, but, like, we still got a lot of support. The deck's still going to be a lot of fun. We just got to get creative. But the horizon's coming soon enough. February, we get to be top dog again. And yeah, that's my opinion for now. If you have any questions or any feedback, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I do try to go through and read every comment, either on the channel account or on my main account. But yeah, I definitely appreciate all the feedback I got on the previous tier list. Don't worry, there will absolutely be a new tier list for EX3. I'm not super excited about EX3. I think a lot of the decks are very expensive to do basically what other decks are already doing. But I do think that the green deck's very good. I think Bloomlord Hydramon's pretty good, and we'll definitely be talking about that. And hopefully I can move it into my new house soon, so hopefully I'll get a setup so I can start recording some games. Sorry this video is a bit late. It's also because of me working and packing and everything, but I hope everyone has a good day, and thanks for watching.